So hi and welcome to this Facebook Live. I'm a member of Laurel Leaf and I'm here to give a Facebook Live on all things Akashic this morning. So I'm really excited to be here. So please do ask lots of questions. I'll make sure that I do answer them, and I'm sure you'll have lots of them too. So you just pop a comment in the question in the comment box. And hopefully that will come up. So if there's anyone on here now, it would be great just to see you and say hi, so that I can. Oh yeah, hi Laurel, hi. So great, you can hear me. So as you're coming on, I will just say hi to people and just to follow any questions in the comment box as well. So as I said, I'm going to be explaining to you a little things about all the things Akashic and the Akashic Records and Akashic Records. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm Natasha Harris. I'm a mindfulness coach and also a Reiki and energy healer, but I'm also a past life healer, and that's where the Akashic Records come into things. So, and that's what I'm going to be explaining to you today. Hi Sarah, good to see you. Great to see a couple of people coming online. So if you find yourself constantly repeating the same old patterns over and over again, and they're kind of keeping you stuck in the same place, then you're going to find this talk hopefully really fascinating. And perhaps you feel that there's something more to these repeating patterns than the choices that you're kind of making at the moment, that you've been making perhaps in this lifetime. So that's where the past life stuff comes in. So perhaps you've been doing some work on things in the past with a coach, or you've experienced the wonders of energy healing and Reiki, or maybe something else, but you kind of still find yourself going through similar experiences at the moment. So the Akashic Records really give you an insight into how you may have actually have been repeating these patterns over many, many lifetimes. Hi Marcel, nice to see you online too. Hope you can hear me. But you might be finding that these experiences and these patterns that you've been making might be going back, may have been coming from past lifetimes, and how you're still drawing the energy of those past life decisions into this lifetime. So that's what's really interesting. It's around the energy of it. You can really then clear the energies through the Akashic Records to support you in consciously making different choices and decisions. Loud and clear. Great, glad you can hear me, Marcel. It really is fascinating. So what might some of these old patterns be, perhaps? So if you guys have got questions, just pop them in the comments box as I go along. If I feel like I'll read it out, and if I feel like I'm going to answer at some point, I might just say I'm going to come back to that, and if I haven't at the end of it, I will answer it. So just so you know. So what might some of these old patterns be? So they really generally fall into 4 areas. We might find ourselves continuously in toxic relationships, so drawing the same kinds of relationships to us all the time, or that we're in jobs that are unfulfilling and stressful, or maybe that we're just constantly finding ourselves with similar kind of bosses in the same jobs. We might have continuous health problems, or constantly battling with our finances, and a bit broke as well. So our relationship with money might come into that. So the Akashic Records can really help to change all of that by releasing the energy of what is holding you back. So it's about doing an energy clearing, so in the records, and releasing that energy so that you can really truly break free of those patterns once and for all, and for good, to move forward. That you can live a life that's really aligned with your soul gifts, and I'll come onto that a little bit in a moment. And really reconnect with your life purpose so that you can manifest everything you want, because we really want to live a life that's abundant. And by abundance, I mean energy, money, health, relationship, and relationships, so that we might be sorted in a couple of areas, but maybe not so much in others. So Marcel's asking, how do I work with people to improve their health? So people might have ongoing health issues that might be coming from decisions and choices that they're making that are impacting their health and well-being. So it might be ongoing things that have been happening. And so by releasing the energies of that, we can then really start to heal from a well-being perspective and look at the health aspect as well. But I'm going to come on to, because it's not just about releasing the energy, it is about all the action that we can take as well. So I will come on to that. So it's not just about, you know, doing stuff in the etheric, in the universe, and going, I need to be healed. It is about doing stuff that's really based in action as well. So the Akashic Records give us an insight into what that action might be as well. So we are talking about things from an energetic point of view, but also very much from an action point of view as well. So what are the Akashic Records? Firstly, that's probably quite an important question to answer, because the Akashic Records are an energetic database of all the past choices and decisions that we've ever made. And that's our choices and decisions in this lifetime, but also across many lifetimes. And it depends what we believe in. So not everybody believes in past lives, but where we kind of have a sense that there's something bigger than us in this life and in this world, then a lot of people do believe in past lives and what we bring with us in that from those lifetimes as well. Now, as we know, and science has proved, everything is energy, but we can't destroy energy. We can only shift and change it. So if we can't destroy energy, kind of where does it go in that respect? So it has to go somewhere, because if we can't get rid of it, it still exists. And that's where the Akashic Records come in. It's kind of like an energetic database of all those choices. Now, everybody has an Akashic record, and there is an Akashic sort of a cumulative Akashic record as well. So they're pretty vast. But what we're really looking for in the records is how we can repeat, how they can show us the repeating patterns that are going against who we are and standing in our way. So Sarah's got a question. Can I ask, how are the readings done? What's involved? So I will come on to that a little bit, but there is an intuitive reading. So it is an energy reading and healing. So it will show us, so certain things will come up around the energy. So it's a bit like in Reiki, I get a sense of the energies and the blocks and the things that are holding us back. And this also gives us an understanding and a key. So it's an intuitive reading. But they are pretty accurate. It's quite amazing how many clients I have that when I tell them about a past life decision or choice that they've made, they're like, oh, but how do you know that? Because I'm making exactly that same decision and choice now. So so it is quite interesting how people really resonate, and it really does show up what we're doing. So it also shows you the practical action that you can take to start living your life in abundance and flow. So it's really about what practical action, and that's why I love it, because it's not just about the woo, it's not just about all the energy says this, it's about what can you really do to make these changes. So it really gives you an insight into our unique soul gifts, because we are all energy. As I've said, you know, everything is energy. So we in ourselves are energy. So, and we are all different and we are all unique. So how do we know what our uniqueness is? Well, the Akashic Records give us an indication of that, because when we have a conscious understanding of who we are, we can start making choices that are more in alignment with who we are. And it really helps us to identify how the energy of the things that are blocking us and holding us back are still showing up today. So the Akashic reading in itself also offers the energy clearing and also shows us the new action. I'm going to be banging on a lot about action because that's really, really important. As my dear friend Albert Einstein said, and I love this quote, it's insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And I'm sure we've all heard of that. I hope you all have. And it really is so true, because if we're doing the same things over and over again, we're just going to get the same results. So although the Akashic Records can offer us an insight and it can do part of the healing, if we're going to continue to do the same thing, we're just going to keep drawing the same energy back to us, and we're just going to end up experiencing exactly the same things. So I am a firm believer as well that small steps really do lead to big change. So we don't have to do anything crazy. We don't have to do anything drastic or monumental. We just need to start making some steps in the right direction. Because during the reading, you get a whole lot of information. So you'll be given information about all the past lives that are showing up and where you're ready to release that energy. And in having so much information, what happens is that we're just overloaded with information, and then we go away and it just is a lot of information. It's insightful, it's helpful, it's kind of Sarah says, I like the action parts. That's what's missing from The Secret, the book The Secret, which you may have heard of. Yeah, it's about just putting affirmations. So I'll come on to that in a minute. You need to make the changes. You're absolutely right, Sarah. Thanks for pointing out that and relating it back to The Secret as well. Yeah, I agree with that. So what I love about the Akashic Records is that even though it is steeped in mysticism, and that we have to accept that there's something a little bit bigger than us, and it's a little bit woo, and it's a bit more out there than what we actually see and experience in the physical, it's actually really what's important, and the most important thing after a reading is that we do start to make new choices and consciously shift the energy that we're carrying around with us. So I don't know about you guys, but I've had tarot readings in the past, I've had energy healings, and I've been for psychic readings, and I've done lots of exciting stuff, and I've kind of come away really fascinating, and it's really affirmed certain information. But then I've kind of gone away and thought, great, that was really interesting, but I don't know what to do now. And it's kind of got filed in a drawer, the recording has, all the notes that I took, and I've kind of gone away and forgotten about it. And that's where also that I love thanks Marcel, she's saying yes, that makes sense. And that's why I love the quote so much, is because it really is about action. And I'm also a coach, right? So I'm all about getting my clients to take action. So and if we're given a lot of information, then we need to know what to do with it. And that's what's going to make the really big difference, I think, for me anyway. But what is also key is that to get the results we want, we need to take the right action for us, because we're all different, and we know that what works for one person and what works for another doesn't always work. Often it does, but not always. So like, we've had a friend who's saying, oh, you've got to try out this new thing, it's great, I've lost weight, or I've really shifted or changed something, and then you go away and try it and it doesn't work at all. You feel like you failed, you feel like you can't do it, and what's wrong with you? But it's really about unlocking what the right action is for us personally. And that's where the Akashic Records really look at us on a personal level, on a unique level. Who are we at soul level? So I think it's also important to remember, and I think this touches partly on what you were saying, Sarah, about The Secret, is that to remember that we're always in control. And by control, I mean that we're always at choice. We have a choice to do something or not do something. And if we're manifesting everything, whatever we're manifesting, the stuff that we do want, the stuff that we don't want, we're manifesting it all. And I think there's a little bit of a misunderstanding that if we kind of put positive thoughts out there into the universe, which is a little bit what The Secret's about, then the universe is going to reward us with giving us what we want. But I don't really believe that's how it works at all. So everything that we put out there, and if we remember that everything is energy, so our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions, our actions, everything is energy. And all that the universe is doing, and this is where it gets a bit woo, but it's just responding with similar and like action. So it's not rewarding us for doing something good, and it's not punishing us for when we do something bad. It's just responding. So when we get something we don't want, and some of you might not like this, we really have to look at ourselves and ask, what action is it I'm taking that is getting me the results that I am experiencing? Because if we're getting results that we don't like, or that don't feel good for us, and we're having an experience that isn't good, then it's likely that it's something we're doing, thinking, or feeling, or the emotions that we're having around it. And if we can shift that, we can shift the results we're seeing. So what if you could have really an insight into the types of different actions that draw only the things that you want towards you? That's really key. It's about really recognizing the kinds of actions you're taking that draws something towards you or pushes something away from you that you want. And there are really three main reasons why we don't manifest. what we want. So those three reasons are because what we want really isn't congruent with who we are at soul level. So I was talking about who we are and our unique energetic gifts, and who we are and our energy, our soul gifts, if you like. And what I mean by congruent is that I mean that what we say we want isn't in harmony with who we are. So the Akashic Records really help us to sort that out, because when we get a better understanding of who we are at soul level, then, and the energy that we bring to that, we can take action that is more in harmony with it and is more congruent with it. And that way we know what action to take. The second reason why we don't necessarily manifest what we want. Oh, hi, Jude. She's saying that that's exactly what we do with EAM. Can you just elaborate what EAM is, Jude, for those that don't know? EAM actions, aligned action after transforming thoughts and energy with our aura. So we're talking about our energy field, our bigger energy field. So the other reason why we don't necessarily manifest what we want is that because what we say we want isn't actually what we want at all, right? So a lot of my clients come to me and say, I want to create this, or this is what I want, this is the goal I want to set. And actually when I delve a little bit deeper, or I kind of ask them some questions about it, we uncover that actually it's not what they want at all. It's either what they think they want because they've heard it somewhere else, or it's what someone else has told them that they want for us. So a parent or a partner that says what they want. So Jude's just elaborate, EAM is energy alignment method. So I actually haven't heard about that, Jude. So I'd be interested to chat to you about a bit more about that as well. So we have to make sure, going back to the three reasons why we don't manifest. Firstly, we need what we want has to be congruent and in harmony with us and who we are. And what we say we want has to be what we actually really do want. And thirdly, you're not taking the right kinds of action. So it's not only about putting out there and saying what you want. You have to be taking action that is in harmony with what you want and is actually really truly what you want. So those are the three reasons why we don't manifest what we want. So I don't know about you, but I know that sometimes I can be really manifesting stuff that I want, and I can be on a roll and really feeling like, oh, everything's in alignment and everything's going really, really well. And then all of a sudden, it kind of just stops, and I think, oh, what just happened there? And not being really sure about what action it was that I took that has meant that actually the client stopped coming, or something else has fallen apart, or the thing that I want to try and do isn't actually coming together in the way that I hoped or that I wanted. And so the Akashic Records really help us to understand, so we can come back and go, okay, so what is that action that I'm not taking? Come back to the reading that we have in the Akashic Records and allow you to see if that action is in harmony with your record, your Akashic Records, with who you are at soul level. That's going to help you get to what you want. So, yeah, great, Jude. I'd love to have a chat with you later. Thank you. If you've got any other questions, please just do type them in the comment box. If there are other people, I can't actually see who's joined the call, but so if other people have got questions, please do just comment in the comment box, and I will try and answer them and come to them as we go through. So then if we're thinking about action, then a really much more powerful question that I talk to my clients about is to ask yourself, instead of what do you want right now? Because in that you get a whole different answer, because we can all make longer term goals, which is great. I'm all a big fan of making longer term goals, but asking yourself what you want right now will help you get to the longer term goal, and it might shift and change as we go through step by step, and it helps us to break down that bigger goal if we don't know what step to take in the interim to get us close to that. So asking yourself what do you want right now is a really great question to ask yourself. So, and that's what the Akashic Records really offer us. They really offer us an understanding of what unique action you need to take, that you can take, that can really help you to feel far more in flow and in abundance. Remember, abundance is for everybody, and it's an abundance of energy, health, money, and relationships as well. And we all can have an abundance in all those areas of our life. They also give you an idea of what to look out for so that you can stay in flow and in abundance. So when you feel like, oh, I've just stepped out of flow, you can come back to your reading and the records and ask yourself, how do I step back into flow? So there's another question. So Marcel's asking, do your consultations incorporate coaching, or do you do separate consultations? So that's a really good question. Thanks, Marcel. So the Akashic reading always incorporates coaching and ongoing accountability, because I feel it's so important to helping us to unlock it, because you get so much information from the reading, and it's important to keep on track with that so you can continue to make the changes moving forward. So I do the readings. There are a couple of readings that come with my program, but they also include ongoing support and accountability moving forward. Does that answer your question, Marcel? Hope so. So in a nutshell, I feel that the Akashic Records really offers us a different way of doing things that can break us free from those old patterns and the same ways that we do things time and time again. So Marcel's saying yes, that answered her question. So yes. No problem, Marcel, my pleasure. So we've got about 8 minutes left, so do keep asking the questions. I'm sort of coming a little bit towards the end, so do get them firing away. And remembering that quote that I gave you earlier, insanity is doing the same things over and over again and expecting different results, because really it is all about the action. I know I've been talking about some pretty woo things for some of you out there, but really it is in the stuff that we want to create in this reality, in our lifetimes right now. And there really isn't any more time to waste, as I believe. You know, we get one chance at this, and we want to have the life of our dreams now. So why wait? It's really time to take that action. So really what I want to leave you with is some of the things that you can do straight away to create the change in your life without having a reading. But obviously, if you are interested in a reading, I'd love to chat to you. But to really help you unlock what it is that might be going on for you, and the challenges that you're facing, you can ask yourself these questions. So maybe you want to type these in, or if you've got a piece of paper or a pen to hand, or type them into your computer as I'm saying them. So the first question really to ask yourself is, what repeating patterns am I making at the moment? Because by asking yourself this question for yourself, you can take a bit of a step back and really become aware of what's going on for you, what's working, but perhaps what's not working as well. So asking yourself that question will help you to unlock and become aware of what's going on for you. The second question to ask yourself after that is it time to change things and do things differently? Because if you're hesitant about creating that change, it's going to be very difficult to create the motivation to create that change and start taking action that's different and more in alignment with who you are. But hopefully the answer to that question is a simple yes. It's time to make that change. As I said, I really don't believe there's many more time to waste. We've got time is now, really. So then it is all about the action. So if you've kind of asked yourself those two questions, then what's next? So asking yourself, what action am I taking right now that's getting me the results that I'm experiencing? And I mentioned this question before. So really understanding what is the action that you're taking that is giving you the results that you want. And that can help you to inform you of what you can do moving forward, because the next question you want to ask after that is, what do I want to do right now instead? And this really helps us also to find solutions rather than staying in the experience and perhaps the challenge and in that repeating pattern. Because when we stay stuck in a problem or a challenge or a pattern, we can't find the solution. And what we're looking to do is ask ourselves questions that's going to help us unlock the and find the solution. And that's where the action comes in. And so then the last question is, what are you willing to do differently now? And that doesn't have to be something crazy, drastic, throwing something out, leaving the job, leaving your partner. It can just be something simple. But by taking one small step, you can really create a big change. So I hope those 5 questions really help you to start unlocking for yourself to see where you might want to be starting to create some changes in your life right now. So no more questions. So we're coming to towards the end. So I just wanted to really say, unless the question kind of pops up imminently, is to say, really thanks for listening. I really do hope you found it really interesting and maybe opened a few extra doors if this was a new topic for you, about how the energy of things and what we're doing can be really kind of hindering us and stopping us from moving forward. So if you do want to know a little bit more about the Akashic Records, about a reading, then please do get in touch. I'm going to put my link to my website in the comments box below when we finish, so that you have that. But my website is www.mindbodysoulenergy.co.uk. So that's mindbodysoulenergy.co.uk. I do offer a free consultation. So do sign up there if you are interested in having a bit of a chat with me, or you can email me at natasha@mindbodysoulenergy.co.uk. Okay, getting a few thank yous there. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for listening. I've really enjoyed sharing that with you, and I hope you enjoyed it too. Great, thank you. I'm going to end the live now.